You might be as bewildered as I am by the notion of a virtual influencer, so I'll talk you through some of my research in this video to explain what they are, why they matter, and why they're not going anywhere soon. So a virtual influencer is a computer-generated character that is designed to attract social media followers and likes. The whole trend took off when Miquela, who has over 2 million Instagram followers, starred in a Calvin Klein ad with the real-life influencer Bella Hadid. Miquela has been around since 2016, and the character is managed by a team of designers, writers, and, you guessed it, salespeople. She has partnered with brands including Samsung and Prada. Meanwhile, we can't get a thing around here for this channel, and I'm real. She even makes music, and her songs are streamed over 80,000 times a month on Spotify. People comment on her posts, and Miquela, along with lots of other virtual influencers, is starting to chat back to people. Their strengths are primarily catered for by the virtual part of their collective sobriquet. A virtual influencer can portray any image a brand would like at a relatively low cost. They also don't complain, yet they don't need sleep, and they don't need attention. So for this reason, some Chinese TV stations have introduced virtual news anchors ready to read the headlines 24 hours a day. You won't catch me filming these videos 24 hours a day, that's for sure. Perhaps I should be worried for my job. There's also no limit to the number of virtual influencers brands can create. Each individual is persuaded by different arguments, so why wouldn't brands create a whole range of influencers to cater to these preferences across customer segments? It's such a cliche to reference that film Ex Machina, and I hate myself for doing it, but it's the only sci-fi movie I've seen, and it is somewhat relevant here. So in Ex Machina, the megalomaniac boss of a global search engine, could be based on Google, uses the search and browsing data of a young programmer as part of an experiment to test the intelligence of a robot. Now, the programmer doesn't know this is going on, and he's taken in by the robot. Of course, she's been designed based on all of his personal data, and she's perfectly tuned to attract him. This has given the machine access to his deepest desires, and it uses the information to manipulate him. So anyway, why does this matter for what we're talking about? Well, virtual influencers could do the same. The internet is already a machine for just giving us more of what we want and believe. Political parties use our data to identify our latent fears, then show us content that will either appease or enrage us, just whatever suits the results they want. Brands use influencers because they deliver the results they want. There's no sentimental attachment to the medium. As the influencer marketing industry faces increased scrutiny from regulators and skeptical brands, the virtual route becomes more appealing. And this brings us to the potential weaknesses of virtual influencers. First, there's little evidence that these avatars really persuade people to purchase products. Some reports state that they do attract attention, likes, and comments. However, this doesn't make them true influencers. They're only influencers if they can translate the attention into a changed course of action from the audience. That's the influence part, isn't it? A new survey from the Influencer Marketing Factory finds that 42% of respondents follow at least one virtual influencer today. Of those, 35% said they've bought a product or service promoted by a virtual influencer. That is quite a lot when you think about it, but it's far from a majority overall. People are surprisingly likely to trust virtual influencers, although the average trust score is just 5.6 out of 10 across all age groups. As it stands, one could argue that the novelty factor is what drives those inflated engagement rates today. It's impressive that a team can create a lifelike computer character, but as the capability goes mainstream, it will lose its initial luster. Moreover, there have been valid questions about real influencers promoting unethical products like diet pills and exercise programs. Most influencers, it must be said, do not engage in these practices, but no such morality would prohibit a pixelated character from promoting whichever product comes from the highest bidder. Machines are given a goal, and they work incessantly to reach it. That goal will always be sales and profits. And that's before we get to the metaverse, if we ever do get there. As we normalize the notion of a virtual identity, these pixelated avatars will become much more prominent. That could be really great for brands, but potentially not so great for consumers. For more High Tech Explains, hit over there. Thanks very much.